Marinated pizza, that's good stuff. Lots of sauce, a big crust. Well, I'll tell you, it feels real good to be back. You know, it's familiar surroundings for a while. After a while, you're nowhere long enough to enjoy anything, you know? Except the gigs. The gigs is all I really look forward to. You know, all the travel and everything is pretty strenuous, but if it wasn't for the gigs, it would be worth it.
That whole contact with the audience, getting a chance to share the music.
Totally, the contact and the exchange, you know, between yourselves and the audience.
It's very
special. The first song I ever wrote within the band was Patiently with Neil and Something to Hide with Neil. And I came back to San Francisco and wrote Feeling That Way with Greg. And so, I mean, the songs just flew out of us, you know, like really easy. And so we thought it looked like a winning proposition, just sort of like that. You know, band. I will do what feels good to me, and I hope everybody likes what makes me feel good, like singing or writing. But what happened with Lights was I was coming over the Golden Gate Bridge. It was really late, really actually very early. And as I was going up through the city, on the left-hand side, the sun was coming up. And the sun was shining on the bay. And at the same time, it was the in-between point on, you know, where the city lights started to go out. You know, the ones that have been on all night. And it just hit me when the lights went down in the city and the sunshine was on the bay. All of a sudden, bang, you know, out comes this song immediately in my mind, you know, the hook line when the lights went down in the city.
Journey frontman Steve Perry, whose new album DVD combo Journey Live in Houston comes out November 15th. AJ, how exactly did Don't Stop Believin' become this team's anthem?
It's a crazy story. We were out one night in a bar in Baltimore, and there was a lounge singer in there, and Joe Creedy yelled out, "Play some bleeping Journey." The lady's like, "I don't know any Journey," and he said, "I don't care, you're going to play it anyways." And somehow we got her to play it, and then we went out to another place and got the DJ in there to play it, and it kind of took off from there. There was about 15 guys in the same place, and they all knew the words, and they all started singing it, and they won't admit it, but they're big Journey fans.
I don't know any Journey. That's ridiculous. Steve, how did you feel when you heard about this?
Well, I first found out about it, I found out through the internet. I got a phone call that I should check my email, and when I looked, there was this article from the Tribune and the Times of Chicago stating that these guys, when they clinched, that AJ walked up to their communication director and said, "You've got to get Steve Perry here to game one. You've got to get him here." So he told Scott, "You got to get me there." And next thing I know, I'm getting surrounded by Scott, and then I found out about the story that they, back in July, I guess, had done this, that AJ said, and they made it their sort of theme song.
Now, AJ, you are a fairly superstitious guy. How did you incorporate the playing of this song into your everyday motif?
You know what? It was funny. Like I have a little problem with superstitions. If you read Sports Illustrated,
exactly. How big a problem, AJ? Give us an example.
Let's see. If there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound that day, I have to get everything with my right hand. Get into the car on the right side. My right foot has to hit everything first. It's a little crazy,
wow.
But for me it's normal, so I guess it's okay.
He sounds like a singer to me.
So how did this song come in? You know, how did you incorporate the song into all those superstitions?
We started as a team playing it before games, and everyone would laugh, and everyone, like I said, knew the words, and they were all fans. And no one's ever going to admit they're fans, but they were, and it just started at every day before a game. We'd be like, "Play some freaking Journey," and sure enough, we'd turn it on, and we got on a roll and started winning, and they started playing it between innings, and every time they play it, we'd always seem like we'd score a couple runs, and so the guys started believing and just carried us from there.
And it made you feel a little less crazy, I'm sure. Steve, did you ever think that this song would be used as a sports anthem?
Well, the only other time I can recall it was used was back in, I think, 1981 when it first came out. It was used, I believe, by the 49ers for a bit. And then it was used that whole year, and it was gone. And since then, it's been just a Journey song that's sort of been an anthem to Journey.
And used by the Niners, of course. You're also a San Francisco Giants fan, Steve. They have had a 51-year drought now in between World Series victories, but 88 years, Steve. Talk to me about an 88-year drought and what that must be like having that end.
Well, just to be a part of the whole thing, you know, when these guys got a hold of me, I mean, I just felt totally honored to be part of it. I mean, what a bigger honor anybody could have bestowed upon them, you know, than a team chasing their dreams, adopting a song like this. I mean, it was just an amazing feeling.
AJ, you're only a few days removed now from that final victory. What's it like?
It hasn't really sunk in yet. It's been kind of a hectic couple days running around doing TV, doing this and that. But I got to say, Steve was just as excited as any of the players. He was out there on the field with us, and he got to hold the trophy, and he got champagne dumped on his head like the players. So for him, I mean, if it's like this in baseball, I can only imagine what it's like singing in front of 50,000 people, 70,000 people. It's got to be a tremendous rush.
Yeah, Steve, how was that at the parade?
Well, first of all, before the parade, when they won, I was down in the clubhouse, and to just walk in the clubhouse and get drenched with champagne, and then to have the whole team surround me and jump up and down, Steve, Steve, Steve. You know, I don't get a chance to feel that much like one of the guys like that. That's a big honor, you know. And then I got to hold the trophy, and I don't know, it was just an amazing ride.
Josh, how many people get to stand on Pitcher's Mound in Minute Maid Park after winning a World Series with the World Series trophy with Joe Creedy, Aaron Rowan, and myself, and sing Don't Stop Believing right after the game? And then we got a chance to karaoke it in front of over 1 million people at the celebration. And my voice isn't very good, so I'm glad Steve was there to back me up. We had no music or anything.
No, you were on fire. Listen, when you're done with all this, I'm getting you a record deal with Sony. I'm telling you.
Exactly. AJ, I would say, let this be the first and last time that karaoke occurs. But that said, AJ Pierzynski, congratulations.
Lead singer of Journey, Steve Perry led the band to 6 multi-platinum albums and 7 top 10 singles. In 1987, at the end of Journey's last tour, Perry called it quits.
It was a tough decision because, you know, Journey was still moving and still was a big group. We were selling out big arenas. To walk away from that and choose life like you have, regular life, as opposed to the circus life, was a tough decision.
Why did he walk away from it all?
During the last few years of being in Journey, my mother developed a terminal health-threatening situation. And before that, my relationship that I was in for 5.5 years also sort of exploded. I just had to jump off the merry-go-round. We had traveled really hard, worked really hard for a long time, and I decided to stop and not listen to music for a good 1.5 to 2 years. I didn't listen to any music.
2 years turned into 8. Last year, Perry went back into the recording studio to cut a solo album. It's called For the Love of Strange Medicine.
Instead of just making a record for the sake of making a record because it's time to make a record, I never did that, so I didn't make one. I had nothing to say. But the For the Love of Strange Medicine record is something I feel and something I want to say. Here I am, missing